get this all out, change the cabinetry, change the countertops, and redo the floors. So this will get all gutted and we'll put stainless steel appliances. Cost-wise, it will probably be about 12 to about 15,000. The rents before, they're about 800. The old rents were about 800. We'll probably jump this up to about $12.25. It's a $400 increase in rent. Times that by, this is gonna probably be a 3-year payback. So we're gonna knock this out. This is a non-load bearing wall. So we're gonna open this up. Again, all we're doing is that we're opening this up, create this little bulkhead. I'll put this little inch on the balcony top because it didn't meet code. That 2 or 3 millimeters didn't meet, so I put an extra one here. Some of these ones I actually put an extra, we call it a picket or a spindle. So I put an extra one right here.
What is up, YouTube? We're back with Kasey Wong, and in today's video he's going to show us a before and after of one of the apartment buildings he's currently going through the process of stabilizing and increasing the rents on. This is a really cool video where we actually get to see he's got 2 vacant units, one that hasn't been renovated yet and one that's ready to be rented out, and he walks through both of them and kind of breaks down for us some of the common, strategies he's implementing on those renovations, as well as some of the costs that he may incur while doing it, and even shares his perspective on things like, should you switch out windows when you don't have to? That's what we're going to find out in today's video. Let's dive into it.
So here's a unit in St. Catharines. Here's an unrenovated unit. It's a 1-bedroom. The floors look fairly decent, but we're probably going to change it out. These are vinyl floors that the previous owner, probably the previous owner did. So what we normally do for this type of unit in St. Catharines, we're gonna knock this out. This is a non-load bearing wall. So we're gonna open this up, put a island here. It's just gonna be a regular Formica countertop, but it just opens up the space. So now you have, come on over. It's a decent sized kitchen in a way that it's a 1-bedroom in St. Catharines. There's nothing wrong with it. In Cambridge, we can't open it up because it's the layout. We'll change these are the fuse boxes for the electrical, which changes to breakers. Get this all out, change the cabinetry, change the countertops, and redo the floors. So this will get all gutted and we'll put stainless steel appliances. So cost-wise, it will probably be about 12 to about 15,000. The rents before, they're about 800. The old rents were about 800. And we'll probably jump this up to about $12.25. What this means is that it's about it's a $400 increase in rent. Times that by, this is gonna probably be a 3-year payback. It depends on the market. So if we can command the $12.25, we try to do that. And we are sort of renovating a little bit higher than normal. Normally like a 2-year payback, but again, this market's changing. The renovation cost is a little bit higher. Opening up the walls, or breaking down the walls and opening up the space. Come on over. We're gonna get this repainted. The paint is it's okay, but we don't know if once we start taking off the floors or anything like that, sometimes we may have to touch up some of the paint. Washroom as well. Quite easy in a way that what we normally do, this is newer, we'll probably keep this. So the vanity, the vanity, the sink, the mirrors we're gonna keep. Sometimes we save on the tub. We would actually reglaze this, okay? And it's about $400 to reglaze a tub. Toilet's fine. I actually don't like these one piece. I normally like the just to do it properly with the tile, just to redo this tub surround. Normally it's about $900 to redo a tub surround. To reglaze is about $400. To rip it out, sometimes it's going to be definitely a little bit more. A tub isn't expensive, but it's just the plumbing work, it's the labor and all that, and it could be up to probably about $600 with all in, maybe $500 or $600, but just to reglaze is about $400. Okay, it is expensive to reglaze. Tub is probably what, $250, but just to get the labor in there and just to redo everything, sometimes if we can salvage it, we try to do that. But again, the floors will get redone to vinyl floor, and any of the painting as well. that we would do. Let's walk over to the bedroom. We'll just walk over here. So here's the one bedroom with the closet. What we normally do is that if the doors on the closet is good, sometimes we'll keep it, or sometimes we'll put the mirrored doors as well, just so that it looks a lot nicer and people will keep it up. So a lot of times these are damaged or whatever, but if it's a mirrored one, it looks a little bit nicer, and the tenants will keep it, keep it up and use that as a mirror to, after getting dressed, they want to see themselves. We talked about the windows. Windows are expensive to do. If you can keep the windows, there's two panes here. They're older, so these are probably when it was built, these windows. Now, can I change these windows? Of course I can change it, but it doesn't add any more value to it. So if I can keep it, I'll keep it as long as I can. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not frosting or anything like that. We're in the dead of winter right now. We're February, mid-Feb, and it's about -9 outside. So the windows look pretty good. We just have to manage and maintain it properly. I recaulked it from the outside, so I had a boom outside, redid everything, and it's nice and clean and nice and neat. So if you can, keep it as long as you can. It's quite expensive to redo the windows, so if you can, you may have to raise money for it. If it's in the price of the building, as in you purchase it pretty low because of older windows, that's great. If you're buying it high, understand that you may have to raise money for this, and the windows will dilute your returns in a way that you're raising more money and putting money back into the units. So be cognizant of what you're doing. Windows are expensive. And usually I'll do it on a one-off type of deal, is that when I do need to change the windows, I'm only doing it when there's a turnover, okay? Let's come over here to the balconies. So this is the open area. It's a nice flowing unit. Windows actually have the window stops. I had to follow what the engineers wrote. So let me explain this. Let me talk about the balconies, and then we'll explain what engineers talk about and what finance companies talk about. So I talked about recaulking the windows. So these windows are recaulked and it's nice and sealed from the outside, okay? So we did that. This flooring, this decking of the balcony was repainted, so we swept it, cleaned it, and recaulked anything that needs to be done, and put elastic mirror paint on the top part of the balcony. I'll put this little inch on the balcony top because it didn't meet code. That 2 or 3 millimeters didn't meet, so I put an extra one here. Some of these ones I actually put an extra, we call it a picket or spindle. So I put an extra one right here because I'm actually 2 or 3 millimeters short. It's supposed to be 100 mils max. So it didn't meet code. I redid that and repainted it. And so I had to weld, and then put these up as well. So it's a safety issue. That doesn't meet code, so it's necessary to do. So let's go inside because it's quite cold. Now, when you're doing a walkthrough with a professional engineer, the P-Eng, they're gonna give you this list of a whole bunch of work to do. And you're like, oh my goodness, it's $180,000. Now $180,000 worth of work. They held back. So this finance company, Timber Creek, held $180,000. So I have to have a meeting now. We're in February right now, we're 6 months into it. What am I gonna do is that I have to explain to them, because engineers and finance companies, sometimes they don't meet eye to eye. And we as property owners, we're right stuck in the middle because they don't wanna give us the money, but we have to get the work done. Engineers say it doesn't meet code because it's 2 or 3 centimeters, or 2 or 3 millimeters. So it's literally that much. Listen, it's just a balcony, right? But if it doesn't meet code, it doesn't meet code. I have to actually get that done. I spent about, I believe it was about $14,000, not including the boom, okay? It's like a skyjack or a scissor lift, something that I get my workers up and they can actually weld and paint and do all that. So I have to get this work done. Engineers say it doesn't meet code. I'm talking to the bank that they don't want to fund me, give me the $190,000, and they're holding that money back. So Timber Creek is holding that back, and I'm trying to explain to them, you know what? It's an older building. It's a 1960s or 70s built. Not a lot of deferred maintenance, but it doesn't meet the building code of today's standard of 2020. And what this means is this, is that codes change, right? this building is not going to fall apart, but you have to understand that Royal Bank actually held a mortgage on this before all this as well, right? So another bank, a larger bank, is willing to fund the previous owner. Now I bought this and I'm doing a whole bunch of upgrades, about $80,000 worth of upgrades now, and now you're not willing to give me the $190,000 that you're holding from me. So I've done a lot. I'm going to go back and meet with Timber Creek and say, you know what? A lot of these things I've done is substantial. I actually even called the fire department on myself. Okay, it's unheard of in sort of the property management owner landlord type of thing. Is that usually tenants will call the fire department on the landlord, right, and say that, oh my goodness, it doesn't meet code. You don't have extinguishers. You didn't do an annual fire inspection, things like that. But I did it on myself, and I asked the fire department, can you tell me what is wrong with this building? And then I labeled it, and then obviously the St. Catharines Fire Department said, no, I can't tell you specifically, it just passed, right? It's a pass or fail. I passed. But I go back to the engineer, and it goes, I passed. And then it goes, no, you need a makeup air unit. Okay, I talked about this before. The code is this, is that current buildings need a makeup air unit. What this means is that it's pressurized in the hallways where you have a positive pressure and a negative pressure inside the unit. So positive pressure in the hallways, in the corridors. So what that means is if I'm smoking, all that smoke stays inside your unit, okay? Or all the smells. If I'm cooking, let's say, a Chinese dish and it smells like fish, right? It doesn't go into the hallways because I have a positive pressure and it's pushing all the smells and the smoke inside the units. Now, on OBC, my engineer is saying that I need some type of system where it's going to push all the air back into the units. Well, for me to do that, it's going to be about $100,000. And when I called these companies to put it in, it was...
What's up, guys? Matt here. Have you ever wanted to do wholesaling? Have you ever wanted to go all in on real estate investing? Well, I've heard your demands from the comment section on my YouTube video, and we're looking to hire more people to join our team. Now, this is going to be a unique opportunity. You're going to need to fit outside of the traditional mold, but if you're willing to go all in on real estate investing, learn everything and do everything necessary to become a successful wholesaler, and you're willing to move to London, Ontario, and move into one of the mansions with me, well, let's do it. So we've got a process for you guys to be able to join our team of wholesalers. Right now, I have 7 full-time wholesalers working for me in Southwestern Ontario, but we actually want to grow the team even more, a lot more in fact. But the requirements are you need to be willing to go all in. So no other jobs, no side hustles, no other personal commitments. You just need to be laser-like focused on real estate and learning and personal development, because that's what this mansion's all about. In addition, you need to be willing to move to London, Ontario. I don't care where you currently live, but you need to be willing to move to London, Ontario. You need to be eligible to work in Ontario, all that good stuff. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. We're just looking for really dedicated, really hungry individuals that want to join our team. If you want to apply, send us an email, clickWholesaling@gmail.com. You're probably going to spell click wrong, so we're throwing it up here on the screen. We'll also have a link in the video description down below. But this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, guys. You've seen the evolution of Adam Martin from my team over the years. He joined us back in 2018, and he knew nothing about real estate investing. He'd never made an offer, never bought real estate, never made a dollar off of real estate, and today he's absolutely crushing it. I know there's a lot of people that aspire to be the next Adam Martin. As well, you've seen the evolution of Mike and Shahir from my team and how they've grown as individuals and wholesalers as well. In fact, we've even got a whole new crop of wholesalers that you really haven't seen yet on the YouTube channel, but they'll be coming soon to a video on your newsfeed. But beyond that, we need more wholesalers. This is really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If you're serious about going all in on wholesaling real estate, I need you to join my team. Click the link down below, send us an email, and I look forward to chatting.
On OBC, my engineer is saying that I need some type of system where it's going to push all the air back into the units. Well, for me to do that, it's going to be about $100,000. And when I called these companies to put it in, it was unbelievable. He goes, "What are you doing? It's a 1960s build." It's like you're gonna actually have to reshore up your roof, because this is you're putting in a unit, a makeup air unit, you need heating, because now I'm pushing air in. It has to be cool as well during the summertime. You can't be pushing in hot air and cold air in the wintertime and hot air in the summertime. So it has to be either cooled. So now I need a chiller, and now I need a heater. Like, what? It's crazy. So that means I have to go back to my finance company, to Timber Creek, and explain to them what is happening. Engineer wants this, it doesn't comply with building code, or it doesn't meet their standards as a finance company. So we're in the middle as property owners, as property managers, landlords. We have to explain, because we have many hats. We have to explain to them, hey, what are we doing? How do you renovate, and how do you upgrade this building to the standards that it makes everybody happy, right? So we have to understand a little bit of everything, okay? I still like this, like I actually like dealing with the building part, but we have to understand these. If we don't understand it, you have to learn quick, and talk to the right people, your engineers, your finance company. And we're gonna talk to them to see what we can do, because it doesn't make sense for us to rebuild a balcony, to, again, redo the ventilation systems on the roof, put in whatever, to balconies, to the staircases, all of this, rechange every single door, because it doesn't meet code. It did meet code before, but we're not able to change everything everywhere in all these buildings all across the country, okay? So this is the before, and then we'll see the after as well. Okay. So as you can tell, this is the after now. So again, all we're doing is that we're opening this up, create this little bulkhead, and having some pot lights. This is very, very reasonable, and price-wise, I'm looking at about $175 a linear foot, right? So whatever this is, right? I'll just multiply this out. Let's say $200 in total, right? Times this by 4 feet, $800. Stainless steel fridge. Again, cabinetry, stainless steel range, and a stove. So something very, very easy to do. Nothing major, okay? New floors, we always put vinyl. I actually like the glue down. The reason being is that you can do whatever you want. You can do the clip or the glue down. The glue down is, for me, I prefer the glue down just for the fact that if something is damaged, there's no cutting. Basically, you just get a heat gun, you heat it up. My contractor will heat it up, take it out, drop the new one in, right? Put the glue and just drop it in. Very, very simple, right? So my preference is the glue down. Hey, if you're a contractor who likes the clips, do it, right? Do the clips. Again, we might change this to the mirrored ones. Here is the new tub surround, and the vanity. Again, simple, nothing too complicated. New doors. This is an older door, and this is a newer door. We try to salvage as much as we can. We try to change our doorknob. So this is we'll get this changed to lever style. I finish on that. Then I just have to get a metal company to redo these are just the heaters. These are the rads. So these are hot water. So I have to call a company just to redo this, and just to cover all of this. So it has to be metal. So I'll call my metal company, a sheet metal company, just to do that, and just before somebody moves in. So these are just hot water. So we talked about that. Very, very simple. It's just we have a heating boiler system to heat the water that runs through the rads. Transferring water throughout the whole building. A 40-unit building is going to be like a water transfer. It's going to be a heating boiler. You have your domestic hot water for your shower and your sink and things like that. So it's not really too complicated. And then you just have your electrical panels in your boiler room. So nothing complicated in a 40-unit building. It's almost like exactly the same thing as a house. Instead of a forced air furnace, you have a heating boiler that just transfers the water, because transferring water from one end to another end of a building is very efficient, right? You transfer hot air from one building to another, it's going to transfer smells, odors, things like that. And then by the time it gets from unit 1 to unit 40, it's cold, right? So all buildings have a hot water boiler system, and before you do the winterization of it, before you turn it on, you get your mechanical contractor to come in and service your boiler, right? Very, very simple. Again, windows, we talked about, and then we just cover this up, and then the floors are done, and it's in rentable condition, right? Again, all these things are very doable. It's very simple. Nothing complicated. I'm not changing the structure of the building. All I'm doing is just some of the kitchens, some of the bathrooms, fixtures and everything is all the same. I'm not changing any of the plumbing, okay? So wherever the sink is the sink, so I don't have to get pull a permit or anything like that. The bathroom, same thing. I'm not, if I don't have to, I'm not gonna be pulling out the tub or anything if I can reglaze it. If need be, I have to change that tub, I'm gonna change it, okay? Toilet, same thing. So I don't need to pull permit. It's not, I could do it. I find it a big hassle to start moving things around, changing a 3-bedroom to a 2-bedroom or two 1-bedrooms. It's difficult. It's a lot of work. But to each their own. If you're comfortable doing that, if you're comfortable duplexing it and that's your strategy, do it. Okay, I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm telling you to do what you're good at. But if you're in a building like this and it's just a stabilization, it's the buy it, renovate it, stabilize it over the 2 years and cash flow after the 5 years. It's a very, very simple business. Don't complicate things. This business is very, very simple. Execution is hard. Get the execution done properly and do it in a timely fashion. And you'll reap the benefits. Both on the tenant side, the tenant will appreciate that, and you'll benefit with your investors on the return. Okay?
Thanks again to Kasey for taking the time to make this video. If you guys enjoyed it, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel, and if you want more Kasey Wong, well, you're in for a treat. We've got a playlist right here, or an alternative playlist right here. And until next time, remember, making money is a team sport. There's more than enough money in this world for us to all make it, but if you're not saving it, I mean, like, what's the point? Thanks, guys.